My wife is incredibly funny.
Oh.
She has now come up with a theory of why I'm not calling the games right.
Okay, and what's the theory?
Apparently, I'm mad at her for some reason.
What the hell?
I don't know, but I haven't stopped laughing yet.
I could see that.
Well, final time this week. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh, yeah. Yes, you know what? Oh, man, the dog's mic went south. We're going to roll express today because, simply put, I am exhausted. I was up way too late last night after the game ended. Good morning. Welcome one and all to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. This show today is powered by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless.
All right, I got my stuff fixed. For some reason, my browser just decided to have a cow.
It quit on you, didn't it?
Yeah, it said go, you know what? I'm like, no, you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Get your butt in here. We're only going to be here for an hour, but get your butt in here.
Okay. There's a group that I sent y'all the story about that's giving the finger to the W.
Yes.
Why? Why? Just why?
Why?
What am I missing? What am I missing here? These ladies are putting on a show for you.
And these
They're playing basketball.
And these idiots say they want to make memes funny again by doing this. I'm sorry, but there's a button I threw in the truck just for this occasion.
Play it.
To all these clowns, here's to ya.
I don't know. You know, it seems like bad things are always happening to me. Like I have bad luck or something.
Son, you don't have bad luck. The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
And it's some kind of crypto group that
yes. That's the thing.
I don't know. I don't know.
Crypto group.
I have no idea what the hell a crypto group is. Part one.
So a cryptocurrency enthusiast. So apparently they're trying to garner headlines for themselves by hijacking the WNBA games.
One of them was thrown at and landed near Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah.
One in Chicago, one in Los Angeles.
And then I think there was another game that was going on that it was involved in.
But
Atlanta Dream
why?
game against the Golden State Valkyries.
What was the game again?
Atlanta Dream against the Valkyries. This
Why? This
apparently this group on Telegram has over 1,000 users. And they're saying we will soon buy the league.
I'm sorry. Did I hear that right?
I am looking at this story on ESPN right now.
Okay, so this is crazy. This is crazy.
Okay, another one happened during the Mercury Connecticut Sun game in Phoenix.
Wow. In Phoenix.
In Phoenix. This is getting ridiculous.
This is I don't know what to say or think of this. I don't.
This is stupidity. It's plain and simple.
It feels like we need to have a better word for that.
Dumbassery, alcoholics, take your pick.
All of those work.
Okay, and here's the okay, this whole green dildo thing, because that's what they're chucking onto the court.
Green.
They have also started to go into MLB games.
What?
Apparently during the okay, here's one for you. Wednesday night during the Marlins Astros game, a woman was sitting behind home plate holding one of those toys.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. And their final quote, the source said, is this: "We've got lots of funny things planned of a less disruptive nature, but we want to keep people looking for us." This is not how you do this.
Read that again. They what?
Hang on a second. Let me do this right. They said,
Please.
the source said, "Quote, we've got lots of funny things planned of a less disruptive nature, but we want to keep people looking for us." Close quote. What in the hell?
Chris,
What in the all types of blue hell
are y'all thinking and doing? Throwing those things on the court.
I have no idea. I don't. There's ways to get your name out there, and then there's ways to get people arrested and charged.
They need to be arrested and charged immediately.
Yeah, and now the W is going to be looking all over the place for these idiots. MLB is going to be on heightened security. Lord only knows if this is going to end up going elsewhere.
I already know where it's going next.
Where?
It's going to the NBA.
I swear if that happens.
It's going to the NBA.
Apparently on X, I was reading up on this.
Mm-hmm.
The term green dildo has been trending over 3,700%.
Who cares? Man, who?
Apparently, this is what they want. They want to get the notoriety, and they're now getting people looking for them.
They need to be in cuffs. Well, I know somebody that's going to offer his opinion.
I got the button ready.
Just a minute. Wait a minute. We're waiting on some technical difficulties here.
Yeah,
Tiger Media is here with us.
Dietz, flip the camera.
Flip it again, Dietz.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
Perfect. I got the button.
Let's do it. Let's bring him on.
Bringing him.
Passionate.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dietz.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Dietz is here with us, and he's ready to swing. What's up, Dietz?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's happening, Dietzy?
All right, Dietz. I'm letting you have the floor on the subject that we were talking about. I'm just going to let you have it. Go.
I told y'all a few weeks about a month ago. I told y'all the WNBA is in trouble when it starts hitting non-sports shows on YouTube.
Yep.
About all of this garbage. And shout out to Side Scrollers, a video game podcast. They have been breaking all of this story, and none of the sports people have been talking about it.
No, because they really don't want to.
Well,
and the issue is this story of objects being thrown on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Just follow the money. Vegas is now has which color will the object be? You are able to bet on it, and here's the kicker. That bet has gotten more traction than any other WNBA related bet in at the Vegas books.
Wow.
You've got to be kidding me.
Wow.
That shows the ineptitude of this league to reach people. And you mentioned Sophie Cunningham.
I did. Yep.
And one of the things that this league has done is completely. She is the only one that I've seen that has had the base take on this of this is ridiculous, and laughing about, like, turning it into this is stupid. And not the, oh my God, this is so offensive. She's saying, this is ridiculous. What the hell are we doing?
Right.
Yeah.
And you want to know how many media networks are running with that?
Zero.
She is completely being overlooked. Completely being nothing to see here. Nothing to see. Like don't go to. And while Sophie Cunningham's like, this is stupid. It needs to stop.
She's giving the officer bar break.
Oh my God! This is against what this is because people don't like women. Shut up. This has nothing to do with women.
Amen to that. Amen.
This is just asinine.
It's people being dumb. It's people. It's people thinking they can get a viral thing out of this, and it has blown up and gone viral. But what people need to be saying, but what it's also done is it's allowed the WNBA to become victims.
Mm-hmm.
And they like to embrace the victim. Their mindset right now is play victim. Play victim. Guess what? That doesn't work. It never has worked as a marketing tool.
No.
If you play the victim, people will treat you like a victim, and they will and they will not. If you just let this go and just said, "Yeah, this was dumb. This was a dumb thing, and we're gonna take care of it. We're gonna make sure this doesn't happen." That's all you need to say. That's all you need to say.
And again, Who does this fall at the foot of? Who have I said this falls at the foot of? Who have I said the whole time?
Myth.
This is why I said this is a commit. At the end of the season, after this strike, the commissioner's got to go. Got to go.
Yeah.
Because this league is being run into the ground, made fun of. It's being made fun of, and the victim mentality is going to bury it if it's not buried it already.
Exactly. This is absurd. I mean, the fact that it's now crossing over into the MLB, you know, again, who knows where this is going to end up going next?
And for people that say, you know, that it crosses into them, I guarantee you this goes into the MLB. It's not going to be a story. In a week, it's not going to be a story.
It's not even really one now outside of the fact it happened once.
I mean, if it happened, the only and you look at the stories that are being posted about it happening in Major League Baseball, they bring it right back to the WNBA.
Yeah, they do.
You know,
follow the trends.
You know, it's not going to affect Major League Baseball is going to have, and it's because it's early August and there, you know, we just finished the trade deadline, so there's really nothing coming up. Once we get into playoff push for Major League Baseball, this isn't going to be a story. No one in Major League Baseball is going to care because they're going to be cared about their team making the playoffs or not.
Yeah.
But let's look at this trend. Look at this trend. Speaking of throwing stuff on the field, we got to talk about the SEC today.
Oh, I was guessing Big Ten, but we're going SEC. Okay, dig it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, we're saving the Big Ten because why? Because the Big Ten is champ. The Big Ten are the champs. They're back. The Big Ten has back-to-back champs. So we'll do the Big Ten next week to wrap up our conference. But we'll go to the SEC, and the SEC is so interesting. It's probably the most interesting conference this year for a few for reasons that are not on the football field.
Okay.
You're looking at, because the SEC is the big reason that you're seeing, the college football playoff was a success, but changes need to come. Those changes are coming from the SEC. The SEC is looking at this, and they see the problem I said at the beginning of the playoff. When the playoff was expanded, the SEC is seeing that they got the crystal ball. They are seeing the road ahead, and the road ahead is conferences don't matter. And they're not trying to change this because they think, you know, they think it's a great thing and we should expand it. They want, if you look at what the SEC, what they met with and why they said they need changes, expand to 16 and guarantee the Big Ten and the SEC 5 teams get in. They're trying to stamp we matter. It's not about changing. It's not about get more teams in because it works so well that more teams will make it better. They're trying to keep their conferences, because you look at, and it's all off the field. It's all this trying to structure it behind the scenes so that they are relevant. Because they're not relevant. They realize, we had this 1 year and both teams in the national championship game did not play in their conference championship game.
No.
So conference championship games do not matter to the playoff. So we need to make sure that more of our teams get in. So that we can have this. Now,
how long have you been talking about this? How long have you been saying it here? No one else will say it. No one else in the mainstream media, and I want to point this out. No one else in the mainstream media will say this aloud. But we get a fellow that knows his stuff. We do our research, and we say it here, and we get laughed at.
I have been saying this for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because the minute that they implemented, we're going to expand the playoff. I said my fear, and my fear came to reality. My fear was championship games. They need to get rid of them. They don't matter. You need to get rid of them because they don't matter. The only reason championship games matter is networks and advertising.
That's it.
Once these networks and these advertisers realize the championship game does not matter at all, that's when the change is going to come, because the NCAA people and conference commissioners, they're not going to react until their game is completely irrelevant and nobody cares, nobody's watching it.
Right. And they're headed that way.
And they are headed that way. And like I said, the big shoe will drop, and I'll get into this with the interest. That's what makes Alabama interesting to watch this year. Because if Alabama gets in a situation like they did last year, where they beat Georgia, they had a resume that was worthy, that was playoff worthy, and did not get in. If that happens to Alabama again, where they have a worthy resume but do not get in the playoff, they have to start. Alabama has to start thinking, go independent.
Yeah,
they have to. That's the only way that they can be viable. And let's be honest here. All of their other sports, we all know Alabama's run by football. And Alabama is run by the football program. So to say, oh, we have to stay in the SEC for all these other sports, if you think that matters, no. Football is king at Alabama. Football drives every other sport. So if you don't think they can go independent and find some streaming service to give them millions and millions of dollars for exclusive rights to their program. Alabama's the one program. They're not the only one, but they're one of the only programs that they can say, our football team's going independent. You can, some conference can come grab up every other sport. Our football team's going independent, and we can sustain just fine.
And they will sustain.
Look at the package Notre Dame has.
Yeah, and that's where this is headed. And the SEC sees that. They see this as a problem. That's why that's why they're angling behind the scenes. They're angling behind the scenes because they need to make sure that they keep out. The SEC knows without Alabama, it's going to crumble.
Oh, easily.
That is a Jenga. That is a Jenga piece that they cannot. That if it pulls out, the whole thing tumbles.
Oh yeah,
easily. So how come no one else sees this coming?
They don't.
I'll go ahead and ask. How come no one else sees this coming?
Because of the article that I read. They need the playoff to be. They need the playoff to be the greatest thing that's ever happened.
But it's not.
But we all know it's not, and they know it's not. But they need to push it as though it is, and that's what happens when you put these things out there that, oh, it's the greatest thing ever, but changes need to be made. They're not looking at the change. They're not looking at why the changes, why it needs to be changed. They're not looking at what needs to be changed about it to secure it. They're just not. They're trying to put a Band-Aid on a stab wound.
So what needs to be? Go ahead. Let's go ahead and ask the question. What needs to be changed to make it viable?
What needs to be changed is the criteria to get in. What needs to be changed is a concrete criteria that needs to be met to get into the playoff.
Okay.
The more ambiguous they make it, the more problems that the league had. I'd say the league, but we all know I'm talking about college football. The college football itself needs to have concrete. This is what you need to do to get in.
Yeah,
because
there is no concrete criteria.
No, unfortunately, and I think that's what's
this
jamming
12-team
everything.
playoff and this 12-team playoff proved it.
Yeah,
there is no concrete criteria to get in the playoff.
And I mean, you guys talked about it yesterday. On the show. You know, it starts December. You said the playoff starts December 19th.
December 19th.
That's when the first games are. The playoff starts, I think it's December 7th. December 7th is when they're going to pick all the teams. Once the teams are picked, that's when the playoff starts.
Okay.
Because you think about it, from December 7th, all anybody's going to be talking about is who's in, who got left out, and who are the first games. From December 7th to December 19th, all anybody's going to be talking about is previews for the upcoming games. Who's going to play where? What's the tournament look like? That's all anybody's talking about. And we saw it last year. Even in games that the bowl games that were coming up, and you can make fun of whatever you want, the humanitarian.com bowl, the
Tony the Tiger, Sun Bowl,
any bowl game that comes up before the college football playoffs, every single show, doesn't matter. They're not previewing that game. They'll do like 5 minutes on previewing the game, and then the rest of the preview show is, Penn State's playing SMU. What do you think about that game? What do you think about? We'll talk playoff teams. We're going to talk playoff teams after the break, and then they come back and they spend the rest of the time talking about. And the teams that are playing that game are completely overshadowed.
Yep.
And it's an umbrella over the entire bowl season. Is this entire umbrella of them talking about just the playoff teams, and that is a bad thing for college. It's a bad thing for college football.
Terrible.
And
it really is, and it's stupid to me that it's that way. But you talked, and Dietz, I'll say it again, you've talked about it so many times on this show that this 12-team playoff was going to be trouble, and now we're seeing the trouble that's here. It's not coming, it's here. 12-team playoff trouble is here. And I'll point out again what you said, that it's the greatest thing ever, yet changes need to be made after year one. After year one, when you simply said, and you've said this for 2 years, here, change the criteria. That's how you fix that. Change the criteria.
That's it. That's the only way to Band-Aid this. I've said it before. I probably need to do it again. As I've said, I need to do this story. I did a whole segment, and if Snowman can go back and find it, it's on one of the episodes. I was talking with Cole, and I had a whole story analogy of a ship with holes in it, and the way that they want to fix the holes is just add more boards to cover up the holes. Yeah. You need to plug the hole. You need to plug the hole first before you add more. Before you add more, you need to stop the bleeding. You need to stop what's wrong, fix what's wrong with it. Then you can add more. Then you can add more planks. So that's just an analogy of you cannot fix this by adding more teams. More teams is just going to add to the problem. It doesn't solve the problem. It just hides the problem.
Yeah.
It's going to hide the problem for another year, another couple years till they figure out what's really going on. And that's what college football needs to do. They need to get to the root of the problem, which is a strict criteria of this is how many games you need to win. This is how many. We need to come up with a name for these. I know Core 4 is already taken by the Yankees, but it just works because there's only 4 conference. Whatever they want to call the SEC, the Big 10, the ACC, and the Big 12, whatever they want to call that, they need to say you need to play X amount of games against teams from these conferences, and you need to have wins against those teams.
Yes.
And otherwise, you're going to make your regular season and your conference season, your conference championship, you're going to make them irrelevant.
Make them worthless.
Make them completely worthless, and nobody's going to care about college football. People are going to care about a month from mid-December to mid-January, and that's it. When college football is August to January middle of January, that's what they should be caring about. They should be caring about August and September, and that's when you have games like Texas, Ohio State to really kick off the season. When you have what's the game I'm going to do? Kansas State, Iowa State in Ireland to really kick off the season, because that not only does that kick off the season, that's a conference game.
When you got Notre Dame and Miami kicking off the season.
Yeah.
Well, convicts. You got, I mentioned Texas, Ohio State, which could be another possible playoff preview at the source of it. We got Chapel Bill's debut, TCU in North Carolina. Yep. Heading into Labor Day. You got big matchups heading into Labor Day, and yet with your formula, Dietz, and you're absolutely correct, by the way, it's irrelevant. These big games that are going to get a ton, in which the networks and the schools involved are going to get a ton of money out of it, are simply irrelevant, because what everybody's going to care about now, and it's already trending that way, is from December 19th to January 19th. That's it, and that's all.
And what will really set this off is when we have a scenario, and this is going to happen. When we almost had it last year. It's going to happen. If they don't change things, it's going to happen again. But last year we had Georgia at Texas in the middle of the season.
Yep.
Georgia beat Texas. We had Georgia versus Texas in the SEC championship game. And we came damn near close to having Texas versus Georgia for a third time. In the playoff. When that happens, all hell's going to break loose.
Yep.
That's when they are going to enact change. We saw this before. People said it in the BCS era of, oh my God, what happens when teams meet again? And we saw it. We saw Alabama play LSU, and then Alabama play LSU for a championship. We saw Georgia versus Alabama in the SEC championship game.
And then Georgia, Alabama.
Then they meet for the national championship.
For the national championship. Matter of fact, we saw that twice. Once in the BCS era and once in the current in the 14 playoff era. Saw it twice.
This goes to the fact that if you see a game happen 3 times, well, that first game's irrelevant. That's it. I mean, we saw it last year. Yep. Oregon, Ohio State. Oregon beat Ohio State to win the Big Ten. In the season that propelled Oregon to the Big Ten championship. They meet again in the playoff. Ohio State wins.
Runs all over them.
Nobody even remembers that Oregon won the Big Ten. Nobody even remembers that Georgia won the Big Ten last year. Or the SEC. No one remembers Georgia beat Texas twice last year. Georgia beat Texas twice. Look at what everybody's talking about this year. They're talking about how Texas made the semifinals. And they have completely glossed over the fact that Georgia is the reigning SEC champion.
Yeah.
It's how, and let me bring up. Listen, when Dietz and I first got together 9 years ago, I will never forget him saying to me, "We are going to cover sports the way it should be covered, which is upfront, honesty, and call it like we see it."
Yep.
That is that when Dietz came to me and said, "I want to be on your show, but this is how I'm going to cover sports," I said, "Hell yeah, go for it." And that's what we're doing here with the college football playoff. And again, I'm operating with what Dietz said earlier in the show, and that is, it's the greatest thing ever, talking about the 12-team playoff, and yet changes need to be made.
Gee, I've heard that before in my neck of the woods over in NASCAR land.
Lord knows I've heard it over here. I live in Indiana. Lord knows I've heard it over here. Hell, I'm a Northwestern fan. I lived in Chicago most of my life, and when Northwestern showed up out of nowhere,
yeah,
everyone called it a fluke. They called it a fluke in 2018 when we lost to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Called it the same thing again 2 years later.
And it's just that there's this aura around college football, and I just want to say this so that nobody gets this construed, nobody gets this mixed up. Right. It's not about the playoff. College football is about the greatest regular season we have. It's the greatest. It's the most important regular season. That's what college football has been for years before I was born, and we're trying to preserve it so that it's still great years after I'm gone.
Yep.
If you continue down this road, you are the NCAA is cutting off their leg they're cutting themselves. They're cutting their vital artery to try to preserve something that's only a month long. You want to keep you want to make the season matter. It's not about, the playoff. You want this regular season to matter.
I'll go back to 85 when I really started diving into college football and watching it and paying attention. There was a big game in Iowa City, Michigan and Iowa, number 2 versus number 1. CBS had the broadcast. Brent Musburger had the call. And it was games like that propelled teams throughout the season. Now in this college football playoff era, it's like, let's say Michigan plays Iowa number 2 versus number 1 again, and it's not going to matter as much as it did back then, because you'll get a second and probably a third shot at a team. We nearly saw it with Texas and Georgia.
Well, that's going to happen again this year, because Texas is going. I was in a chat the other day, and again we were just casually talking college football, and we were talking about Texas and all this. And everybody said, Texas has nobody on their schedule, and I was like, they got to go to Athens, man.
Yes.
They got to go between the hedges. Like nobody the fact that Texas has to go in between the hedges and play Georgia. And it should be the biggest game of the year, and nobody even
talking about it.
Nobody even mentioned it. And I was like, no. I was like, that game matters. And so it's just that kind of feel that, and it's that kind of feel that, if both those teams go into that game undefeated, okay, that used to matter. Now we're going to look at it as, well, even if Texas loses, we're still going to see them play again. We might even see them play again. We might even see them play a third time.
We saw it last year.
That's insane.
That we saw it last year when Georgia went into Texas, and Texas was number 1 at the time. Georgia was number 5. I did that game. I did that then. Chris Simpson and I did that call. It's going to be the same thing again with these two, this time playing between the hedges in Athens. And I already have that on my schedule, Texas and Georgia in Athens. That's our SEC game of the week when that week arrives. The regular season, and you said it, Dietz, so many times over in your appearances here, is becoming more and more irrelevant. The rivalries, the matchups that everyone's looking for, they're becoming more and more irrelevant. And that's because of this college football playoff stuff where you get the possibility and the chance to see someone a second and maybe a third time.
Absolutely. And it just goes to show you that, and it goes to show you we're going to see this. We're going to see this ramp up in a couple weeks because the season's going to start. Every single person, every single thing is going to be focused on Ohio State and Texas. That's what they're going to focus on. Up until for the days before that game is played, you're going to hear nothing but Ohio State versus Texas. That's all you're going to hear. After that game, no one's going to talk about it. You're not going to hear how important that game was because it's going to be moving forward. What's moving forward, we know, even the loser of that game, they've still got a whole bunch in front of them.
Mm-hmm. They got their champion, and these are the two biggest conferences. You got the Big Ten championship game in Indy, and you got the SEC championship game in Atlanta.
And none of that's going to play into whether either of those teams are in that game.
Right.
None of that's going to matter.
None of that will matter.
And it's why I've said probably. I mean, everybody's going to focus on Ohio State and Texas. What the most important game of Week 1 is LSU at Clemson. Because of the fact that if LSU does not beat Clemson, we're going to look at LSU as LSU's got a problem. LSU's got a problem, and they've got a long road back to getting into a playoff. If Clemson loses to LSU, everybody's going to look at the entire ACC and say, "Can the ACC hang with the SEC?"
Mm-hmm.
There's so much riding on that LSU Clemson game that a whole conference is riding on that game. ACC needs Clemson to win that game.
They need Clemson to win, and that's it.
Clemson hasn't beaten an SEC team in the last 3 tries.
Dog, look up that game. That's an afternoon game, is it not? LSU
Clemson.
Give me
it's 3:30.
Yeah, I think it's.
What is this? Week 1.
Game. Week 1.
Week 1, LSU Clemson. Let me take a gander here. LSU
I think that's
Clemson.
our Saturday. I think that's our Saturday middle game.
7:30.
Oh, boy. Oh, it's night.
It's an ABC game. 7:30.
So it's a night game.
Yep.
Whew. Oh boy.
That's right. Because Texas Ohio State is at noon. I forgot they flipped them to the big game is at noon. Yeah. So that's the game. That's the important game for the regular season because we all know Texas and Ohio State are going to be there for the entire season. LSU and Clemson, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with the loser. The loser of that game, we don't know what's going to happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
For that. So to further this down the line of Florida gets to play Texas this year. We want to see how good Florida can be. We want to see how good DJ Lagway is. DJ Lagway real? Is he going to bring Florida back to being the Gators, back to having the swamp be, Gator country? Are we going to see that? Texas gets to go into the swamp.
They got to go into the swamp. Yep.
And can they be? That game should matter so much to college football and nobody's talking about it.
Well, we are. We're talking about it here.
Yeah,
There's so many
that's
games.
their Week 5 game, by the way, Florida and Texas.
And that's in the swamp.
Yes, it is.
That's in the swamp. Do we have a time for that game?
Not yet, but the only other big game that Florida has is November 1st. Granted, it's a neutral location, but
Georgia.
it's against Georgia.
Yep.
Neutral. Okay, it just played in Jacksonville. Like, it's not neutral.
It's not neutral.
Yeah, true.
What do they call it? The world's biggest outdoor cocktail party?
Yep.
World's biggest tailgate party.
And it's in Jacksonville. Been in Jacksonville for many moons. Thank you, Larry Munson, for saying, man, is there going to be some property destroyed tonight? That, of course, was 1980. Let's look at some of the other big games. Let's look at some of the other big games. We know the before
I got Week 1 pulled up. All right. Okay, so as you said, you're covering Iowa State, Kansas State out of Dublin to kick the season off.
Mm-hmm.
That is Saturday the 23rd.
Yep.
Looking through some of the other slates, honestly, Thursday the 28th, there really isn't that much going on.
Mm-hmm. Thursday the 28th is like a glorified warm-up week.
Yeah, Friday the 29th, the only big game I'm looking at really is Auburn and Baylor. That's down in Waco. That's down in Waco.
Oh, that is in Waco.
And then there's also Georgia Tech and Colorado. Then comes the Saturday slate, and boy, was it a doozy.
Oh, brother.
Of course, the aforementioned Texas, Ohio State. There's also Syracuse, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. And A Pizzle's with us this morning, and he is a volunteer fan. Is that game in Knoxville?
That game is in Atlanta, but Tennessee's the home team.
So since you mentioned A Pizzle's a Tennessee fan.
Yep.
Tennessee is one of the funniest things for what we've talked about with the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
If you know anything about what happened to Tennessee this year, so what happened in Tennessee is their quarterback, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. I just call him Nico because I can't pronounce his last name.
I'll say his last name for you because I've had to say it quite a few times over the course of last year. Nico Iamaleava.
Yes. So he decides to transfer out of Tennessee. Tennessee makes the playoff. They go. They do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Nico decides to transfer, and he picks, I'm going to transfer to UCLA.
Yep.
The problem with that is UCLA already has a starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So UCLA's starting quarterback hears, they're bringing this guy Nico in. Well, that means I'm not going to play, so I'm going to hit the transfer portal.
And where does he end up?
Where does he end up? He
Tennessee.
ends up in Tennessee. So they basically just traded quarterbacks.
Traded quarterbacks.
Which is insane to me. And we'll talk about UCLA next week when we talk about the Big Ten. But so we'll focus on the Tennessee part of this. I think this kid got the better of that trade. He went from UCLA to Tennessee, who made the playoffs last year. He's going to have people around him that are better, more skilled, and he's got Josh Heupel as his head coach. So this kid's going to make out like a bandit. Now we got to see if he can bring Tennessee to where if he can match. That's the only problem is he's got a direct match. If Tennessee doesn't do what Tennessee did last year, everybody's going to go, oh, well, they should have just kept should have kept Nico or whatever. So that cloud is going to be over him all season.
Yep, it sure is.
But it's just funny that one guy transfers and the other guy just transfers right back. Goes right back.
It was a one-on-one trade. It was a one-on-one trade. What happens to Iamaleava at UCLA? Is he going to drop like a rock?
That's gonna be. That's where it's. He's an interesting. It's gonna be an interesting look. Can he bring a team that UCLA? They've got nothing. They've got nothing around them.
Nope.
They brought in this great quarterback. They got nothing around them. And nothing around them. And UCLA is not built to. We'll talk about them, like I said, next week. When we do the Big Ten, but they're not built for the Big Ten. Tennessee is built to play in the SEC. They've got a powerful defense. They've got receivers all over the place. So, we know how Josh Heupel likes to run his offense.
Yes.
Well, if you have the ball for over 5 minutes, something's gone wrong. If Tennessee is, hey, let's run 10 plays in 2 minutes and score a touchdown.
Yep.
Like that time of possession does not matter to them.
No, it doesn't.
What matters to them is get up and go.
Yeah, putting the points up,
getting the giddy up going.
Yeah. So
with us, Napoleon Jonamite is with us. Tiger Stripes Media, who says he lives about 30 minutes from Clemson, and I've seen Death Valley. Talk about that in a moment. Tennessee has weapons. UCLA does not.
And UCLA doesn't exactly have a good schedule either, from what I'm looking at.
No. That's why we'll talk about the Big Ten next week, because I still question the moves of USC, UCLA, and a couple others. We're staying with the SEC. Just taking a quick look, Dietz, at the teams there. Fill in this blank. The odds-on favorite to win the SEC is.
Until somebody shows me differently, it's Georgia.
It's Georgia.
Georgia lost 2 games last year. Alabama, very close
in a hell of a game.
In a hell of a game, and they lost to Notre Dame, who played in the eventual national championship game.
So they lost to Alabama.
They had 2 losses, and nobody is talking about Georgia right now.
You know why? Because they feel they're irrelevant. But I say they're very relevant. What do I always say, gentlemen? To be the champs, you have to beat the champs. Yeah. I don't see anyone beating Georgia to win the darn thing.
Well, and the other thing that they're relevant to is what I alluded to at the top of this. Off the field, there's a culture in Georgia that needs to be discussed. There is a culture there that, going back to Jake Fromm as a freshman. Jake Fromm as a freshman leads Georgia to the national championship game. Gets beat on a ridiculous play by Tua Tagovailoa, where Georgia's secondary just had a brain fart, decided to let Devin Smith run wide open. Tua throws the ball, get touchdown, game over, and the rest is history. All right, but Jake Fromm was a freshman then. That offseason, they brought in the #1 recruit in the country, Justin Fields. Justin Fields, and everybody looked at this as, oh my God, look what Georgia's doing. They're getting guys. They're getting these recruiting guys. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there going, why the hell is this kid going to Georgia where he's not going to play for 3 years because a freshman just brought you to a national championship
game?
Yeah. So Justin Fields goes to Georgia, has a year, and plays sparingly because they had to play him. They brought this recruit kid in. They had to play him. And what does he do? Hits the transfer portal because he realizes, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play. I'm going to hit the transfer portal. He goes to Ohio State, does what Justin Fields does. And so that happened in Georgia. This is a culture in Georgia. I think Georgia learned from that. Because what happened last year? Carson Beck, who's been in a national championship game, the year before played amazingly. They just happened to lose in the SEC championship to Alabama and missed the playoff. But had one of the greatest bowl games in the Orange Bowl when they smashed Florida State.
They destroyed Florida State. Florida State.
And Carson Beck was talk of the town. Was everything that you wanted a quarterback to be. Was everything that you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened last year? He beat Texas twice. The only problem is he got injured at the end of the SEC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
That caused him to miss the game against Notre Dame.
Okay.
He could not participate in the Sugar Bowl because of injuries. So they went to Gunnar Stockman.
Mm-hmm.
After that game, after Georgia loses to Notre Dame, everybody in Georgia was talking about, hey, Gunnar Stockman is our future. Gunnar Stockman is now our guy. Well, what does that mean? That means Carson Beck. Well, I got to transfer out, and he's now at Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a problem. You can look at this one of two ways. You can look at it as Georgia. They don't. What do they say? We don't rebuild. We reload.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a problem. There's something in Georgia's culture that is allowing these guys to just up and leave. That they want to leave. They want to be there for the clout of, I got recruited by Georgia, and then they want to bail.
Mm-hmm.
There's something wrong there, and we can go back to and what I always look at, and I always love. I will always praise Dabo Swinney for this.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson does not take. They have not taken a transfer player in the entire run of the portal, and they don't lose guys to the portal.
Mm-mm. Everybody that comes to Clemson stays. When
Dabo gets you, they people don't leave. They just don't. And
it's not it's not only that they don't leave; they don't want to leave.
Yeah, they don't want to leave because he's made a culture there. But something in Georgia, something in that Georgia culture, something's not right. Something's going on there where guys don't want to be part of that dog culture, and we talk about their play-by-play guys all the time and doing all that. It's a great thing, but the current stock, they don't have that dog yet. They don't have that. We're doing this because we're dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to be dogs for life. Like, they don't have that.
And thank you for the reminder of one Larry Munson. And I think this is one of the first conversations Dietz and I ever had when he said, have you listened to Georgia's announcers? And Dietz brought it back to me again 2 years ago when I started doing college football here on the channel. Have you listened to Georgia's announcers? I said, Dietz, I've been listening to Georgia since Larry Munson. And he says he feels that he's a part of the team. I've been that way for 30 years with whatever team I'm covering. The thing is, and what I love about the late Larry Munson and now the current voice of the Georgia Bulldogs, Scott Howard, the pronoun "we" is always in their sentences when they call they call a game.
It's never about the other team. The other team has the ball, and the games I really listened to them were the national championship game a couple years ago against TCU, and all the playoff. I had to listen to the Georgia broadcast.
Yes.
Because of ESPN garbage, but I had to listen to the game through theirs, and that was the first time I really got into it. And every time TCU had the ball, Georgia's defense lines up. I'm like, wait, what do you mean the defense lines up? Like the offense, TCU has the ball. What is it? Oh, we got four guys on the outside, and every single call is, well, we got dogs lining up here. The dogs are blitzing here. I'm like, okay, I know, I get what Georgia's doing. What the hell is there another team on the field? It's so cool. It's so different than every other. It's so different, and that's what makes it fun. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to listen objectively, you're like, what is happening right now? Because I have no idea. All I know is Georgia's lining up, and they're going to blitz. That's all I know.
Because they mentioned nothing about the other. They mentioned nothing about the other team. Nothing.
Nothing about the other team. Nothing about guys in motion on the other team. Nothing about that. It's all about. We lined up here.
All about the dogs.
We're lining up at the 35-yard line. Okay.
Matter of fact, before we get out of here, I'm gonna share this with Dietz. I was at work when this was happening. This took place in Indianapolis. I was working at a hotel in Columbus, Indiana at the time. And I just happened to be sneaky and get Scott Howard's call of Georgia, Alabama at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Well, there was a little over a minute left in the game. And then this happened.
Georgia. Man in motion to the near side, then they reverse it with Billingsley. Back to the right. Snap to Young. Drops back. Pressure from the edges. He throws near sideline. And it's intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Georgia.
Listen to the box next to him.
54 seconds to go. Keely Ringo with about a 75-yard return. No flags. 32-18. Let the celebration begin. 54 seconds to play.
The dog nation has erupted.
Greatest thing was one of the greatest things about that call was if you listen to the fans next to the broadcast booth, they're going nuts. They're going nuts.
And they said it. Dog Nation is going crazy.
Who next to them was going ballistic.
Oh yeah.
My wife came to pick me up because I had picked Georgia to win that game, and a lot of the customers were Alabama fans, so we were giving each other mess back and forth the entire weekend. When I came to work the next day, I got scowls in front of me from from my supervisor, her boss, and like 5 or 6 other people. Their first national championship since 1980. They've been close a couple of other times, including 2018. And all that emotion came out in those 30 seconds.
Why am I not surprised?
Hey, been there.
Oh, yeah.
Catholic won a state championship in basketball in 2014. I wasn't supposed to show my emotion on the floor. The key rule we did. The game was at the time called Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Not supposed to show emotion on the floor. Well, the hell with that.
Right.
I was with those kids from the beginning of the 2013-2014 season, and every tear I had stored up in me all season came out.
Cannot say I blame you.
You gotta love it. All right.
And to tie this into a bow, with what we talked about at the beginning to what we're talking about now, that call right there shows you what college football should be.
Yes.
It should be about the community. It's the local brand. It should be about loving your school. And that's why that broadcast is amazing, because they don't have any ifs, ands, or buts. They know their fans are Georgia. They're speaking to the Georgia fan.
Yes.
They have no qualms about it. And that's what college football should be. It should be that passionate. It should be that kind. That's what you should be getting.
That's why I love Larry Munson. That's why I absolutely loved Larry Munson. Matter of fact, let me throw you another one. This his most famous call. And let me see if I can do this right. Let me see if I can do this right. This is November 1980. Scene of the crime was the Gator Bowl, Jacksonville, Florida. Georgia was down 21-20 late in the fourth quarter. And as I often love to say, and then this happened. Take us home, Larry Munson.
Back third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Gonna throw and a run. Complete to the 25. To the 30. Lindsey's got 35-40. Lindsey's got 45-50. 45-40. Run, Lindsey. 25, 20, 50, 10, 5. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop.
Yep.
Well, I can't believe it. 92 yards, and Lindsey really got in a foot race. I broke my chair. I came right through a chair, a metal steel chair with about a 5-inch cushion. I broke it. The booth came apart. The stadium fell down. Now they do have to renovate this thing. They'll have to rebuild it now. This is incredible. You know, this game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight? And up at St. Simon's and Jekyll Island and all those places where all those dog people have got these condominiums for 4 days? Man, is there going to be some property destroyed tonight? 26-21. Dogs on top. We were gone. I gave up. You did too. We were out of it and gone. Miracle.
Yep.
If that doesn't define what a college football broadcast should be, the only person in recent times that did it like that is one of my best friends ever, the current voice of the Northwestern Wildcats, Mr. Dave Ennett, who we should give congratulations to, is retiring from his morning show at the end of this month at WGN in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
40 years he did that. He'll still be the voice of the Wildcats. He'll fill in other spots on occasions, but the day-to-day grind, he is hanging up his microphone. So a shout to my good friend Dave Ennett on his fabulous 40-year run as a morning show host. Love it. Love it. And love you, Dietz. Thanks for coming on this morning. As always, man, we'll talk Big Ten next week. Thank you very much.
Of course. All right. Yeah, we'll definitely get to all of that next week, and hopefully nobody throws anything on the floor here.
Exactly. Thank you, Dietz. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dietz.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Mm-hmm.
Only Dietz can close the show like that, and only Larry Munson can say "Run, Lindsey," and no one else cares.
Right?
Oh my gosh, I love it. Have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're just simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We hope y'all are too. We're flying down the road toward football season.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently I'm going to get blamed every time the Colts lose.
And apparently we're also going to get blamed a lot because, well, yes, Jen, it is you. We promote you because we can. Deal with it.
I'm going to make one of those for myself, especially for my beautiful wife here.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I said at the top of the show, her theory is that A, since the Colts couldn't find the red zone, B, since the Colts couldn't run the football, apparently it's my fault. And my football days are long behind me. So long, everybody. See you Monday.
And yes,
I'm just
and
go.
yes, make sure you follow the cute queen on Twitch at Genevieve_Yoso.
And there is a podcast with my wife and I looming somewhere next year.
Makes two of us.
Oh God, the four of us together in the same camera.
Oh Lord.
See ya.